All right, here today to talk about the summary um, for the course basically and everything we learned. Um, it's kind of something you might present to somebody. I'm really terrible at making a lot of these presentations. There's always so much that goes into it politically that it annoys me a lot. But anyway, this is what I've done. Hope it helps. I did learn a lot from the class. Thought it was great. Learned some things that I didn't know. A lot of stuff was familiar already. Learned a lot of things that I didn't know, but here we go. So what can Google do for us? Well, number one thing, it's free, and everybody loves that. It's familiar. It's more familiar than you might realize. It is definitely not something you go into to learn right away. You know, so many people have had access to Microsoft and stuff for years that a lot of this stuff looks very familiar, and of course Google based it on what people already knew. Collaborative, which that's the name of the game in education today. How can we all collaborate, get together across, across subjects and other things like that? And it's far-reaching. They have so many things now with Google. It's not just Google Suite for Education, but you get the YouTube account, and there's other things like Google News and flights, and all this stuff can just be done, and it's really amazing. It's very far-reaching what you can do. So the features, of course, you got Gmail that you can use. It's just everybody's real familiar with that. Drive, which the kids are familiar with cloud, so it's not that hard for them to learn. Docs, kind of like Word, but more simple to me. Slides, Sheets, and Classroom, and we're going to get into these guys right now. Gmail, it's easy to use. Most people already have a Gmail account anyway, so they're familiar with it. It is simple, it's non intimidating, it looks, in my mind, just enough to look professional, but at the same time, it looks casual. I know that's hard to explain. It's collaborative, of course. You can share emails and the calendar and all those other things. Um, you can access it almost anywhere. Of course, you could have it on your phone. You can have it on a tablet. You can have it on your computer, anywhere there's internet. And it's easy for students to use. Again, a lot of them probably already have an account. They just don't even realize it because they created a YouTube account. They think they did. And they've really created a Google account. And also, it's familiar because a lot of times their parents are going to have it at home. They can be able to help them use it. Drive is helpful because when you go for Google Suite for Education, it's unlimited space. And that is useful for people who like to save everything. In my years of teaching, man, I've ran into so many teachers, especially older teachers, who save absolutely everything just because they never know when they might want to use it again or share it again. So to me, it's easy to access again, your phone, your tablet, your computer. It's collaborative. Of course, so many things can be shared from your drive. It's really, really useful. Non-intimidating in my mind, and I'm going to use that for over and over again. When you open it, it doesn't look like something you'd be totally confused about. And where's this and where's that? And it's not overwhelming. And again, so many things that you can share with it. Docs, again, familiar. The format looks very similar to Word. It's just stripped down. Collaborative, we know how you can make comments back and forth to each other. You can make comments on your own paper. Um, you can share it. People can edit the doc at the same time. People can be working on the doc at the same time. You can be on one side of the world or the other if you needed to. It's a great thing. Again, it's non intimidating. It doesn't look like it's too much. And that's really helpful for getting the students to buy in. And again, another thing, it's very shareable. Um, Slides, most everybody's familiar with PowerPoint. Again, this thing, it looks like a stripped down version of that. It's familiar. Again, collaborative because you can kind of do the same things. People can make notes and who changes what. Multiple people can work on it at one time in real time. Again, it's non intimidating. It doesn't look too big and very shareable. And down to Classroom. Um, Classroom, I really like because the way you can communicate with your students and instant feedback. Again, it's easy to use. The learning curve is really small. And again, collaborative. You can easily get with another teacher, and you guys could actually um, use the classroom for multiple purposes because you can assign a teacher to it, and a teacher could help you monitor it or something like that. I just like all the options that are available to you for it. Now the etc. part, of course, there's a bazillion apps that they have, and a lot of classroom management tools like Class Dojo is one that we like here, and other things. We're really not big on it here in our district, but depending on what your district opens up and what's available to you, apps for different reasons. I mean, I've seen typing apps and foreign language apps. All of these things are amazing. Um, of course, you can make your things more robust, your docs, your sheets, your slides, by using add-ons, which I really think for students, the add-ons won't be as big a deal it will be for your teachers. And I think your teachers are going to love the add-ons, especially for things like when you go through Google Forms and make a quiz and you want to keep up with stuff and it creates a sheet to grade it. And your add-ons can do so much more for you. And the add-ons are simple. And they can be set up for troubleshooting and all kinds of other stuff. The add-ons are almost unlimited, but it's a great thing. And then of course for the school district, Chromebooks are a big deal because they're cheap, they're simple, and they don't take up a lot of space. Um, Here currently, we use a lot of PCs, and we just recently got a bunch of Lenovo's that we're finding that the screens are cracking left and right. Um, Not to say that that wouldn't happen with a Chromebook, because kids are going to handle things in different ways. Of course, you teach them the proper way. However, the biggest problem we have is anytime we open these Lenovo's PCs, and with our older HPs, every time you want to open them to take a standardized test, like the NWEA MAP test, that's a big deal here. Anytime you open that, you'll have a third of your computers out of the computer cart that will have to update and restart, which, depending on the computer, can take 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And you've lost that much time on one computer, and a kid's got to get up and take it back. Our librarians, the people who manage the computers, don't have time to update every computer every day. Because the thing is, if you got the same laptop cart in your room and you do a test the next day, and again, a third of them taking them out are going to have to update, and the Chromebooks don't have to have that. It's an easy update through Google. They keep each other synced and they're ready to go. The Chromebooks are small. That was a big knock here on some of our MacBooks. Even though we had the MacBook Airs, they were in this massive cart, and I never figured out why. And the Lenovo's we have are smaller, but I've seen a comparable in size Chromebook to a MacBook Air that just doesn't seem to take up as much room for whatever reason. It's a weird thing. And then never, of course, never to mention the price. You can get Chromebooks for, $200 when you catch them on sale, up to $400 or $500. The bigger ones, of course. And Apple is not going to help you with that. And HP's and Dell's and whoever else you're going to go with, they can match the price. But then you got to deal with the PC problems that we were speaking about earlier. So in my personal life and my professional life, as a teacher, being able to streamline things through Google at home and at work would make for an amazing experience. And I think if we want our students to get on board with getting into the 21st century and up to date with our education today, then Google is the right way to go. You don't have to get familiar with this or that. You can get familiar with everything and the way everything looks and everything works familiar. And I just think it's a great idea. So that's why I think our district could and should use Google for education and access to Google Suite for Education and get all that set up. And I think it would really benefit everyone in the long run, save money, be efficient, and just work effectively.